Hey guys, welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Came across some more interesting C8 Mid-Engine Corvette news. I figured I would share with you, so let's get right into it. Alright, so there has been another patent filed by GM that, again, it's giving us another clear view of what some of the active aero on the C8 is likely to look like. So at this point, all of the patents for the active aero, they all show the operation on a C7 Corvette. This is just to obviously not have to show off the shape or the design of the C8. It's easier for them to patent this stuff, showing it active on an older car, just to avoid anybody seeing anything they don't want to have been seen yet. So this picture here is showing active aero on the car, and it's showing more active aero than I've seen in any of the patents prior to this. So right off the bat, we have a front splitter, an active front splitter, an active hood vent, which would go up and down to allow or disallow air coming in and through the front end and venting through the hood, just like it does now currently in the C7, only this would open and close to vary speed. So we have the splitter in the front, the active hood vent in the front. So we got two in the front, and then we also have two in the rear. We have one up at the rear spoiler is active, so it can go up and down to vary speed, to vary drag, and depending on how active this ends up being, could even help steer in certain directions. Then we also have an active rear diffuser, which is awesome. That's one of the best things I've seen on this car yet, because an active rear diffuser, a good setup diffuser by itself is great, but to have it be active could, again, assist with braking, could easily reduce drag when needed. It's a fantastic looking setup so far, and it really could put a lot of tech into this car and make it something great. Now this picture here is another patent that GM filed that is supposedly pointing out movable aerodynamic devices at the front and rear. Basically, it was confirmed already that item 104 here is in fact an engine, and item 106 is obviously the transaxle. So what we're looking at here is definitely a patent filed by GM showing very clearly a mid-engine car that also has movable aero. So what some of the rumors are pointing at is that there is a McLaren-esque style air brake, which again kind of factors into what I was saying earlier with a lot of the active rear spoilers can go up and down. So they would go up to increase downforce on the rear tires, and they would go down to decrease drag for high speed runs. Now in the same case, they can go up and angle more forward or more back to increase drag on the car to help slow you down, so not all that work is on your brakes, or they can even tilt to the left or right to help you turn to the left or right. So the idea of active aero is really not just to either be fully up or fully down. If they play this the right way, it could literally even help with cooling. So like I was saying with the active aero in the front hood, those vents could open, close, open higher, lower, based on the amount of air coming in, to work in a way that literally vacuums the most hot air possible out of the engine bay, and at the same time reducing lift, reducing drag, all that stuff. So this active aero patent is very exciting stuff, because the car can be much faster, much more nimble, without necessarily having to pack high horsepower motors into it. Now again, with this picture here, there's been a lot of hate, a lot of dislike at least, on the rear spoiler. There is a lot of rumors I'm reading right now that are circulating stating this is likely not going to be the rear spoiler for all of the C8 models, and if this spoiler sees the light of day at all, it's likely to be only on the base model, because the higher end models of this car are going to have active aero. And with active aero, the biggest, just like that patent I showed you earlier in the video here, the biggest part of it for rear downforce is an active rear spoiler. So this one that we're looking at, that is a stationary spoiler, that is not an active spoiler, so this is definitely not going to be the final design for the higher end C8s. Now in this patent for the Active Aero, GM has in their notes that it can work with 0 or multiple electric motors. So it kind of implies the fact that we are going to likely see a hybrid version of this car, or at least one that's assisted with an electric motor. And basically, the one that has the electric motor will control the Active Aero, whereas the model that doesn't have the electric motor, that Active Aero can still work without a hybrid setup. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the video today. It was just a pretty important piece of information on the Aero patents, which, if you ask me, next to the manual transmission, this is definitely up there as a really, really top option for this car. So it's definitely something to keep your eye on, and I love to get you guys this information as soon as I get it. I literally just read this. I thought I had to get this video out because this is something that it's going to be a big deal for this car. So if you liked it, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, shoot them in the comment section down below. I'd love to have you as part of the Horsepower Obsessed community, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next upload.